had he died?
On top of me.
Hello, my people. It's your Negro with Aptitude and host of the Blackboard, Mickey Lee. Hey, I don't know about you, but it seems that every day, if not every other day, something shocking is happening. We're either going to war, or there is the threat of war, or the stock market takes a nosedive, or some celebrity suddenly makes his or her departure. The latter is true for the well-known YouTuber Kevin Samuels, who was called before the Lord this past Thursday, May 5th. He was reportedly 56 or 57 years old. Now, for those of you who don't know who Kevin Samuels was, he was a highly controversial content maker, self-described image consultant, and relationship coach. Though twice divorced and not in a committed relationship at his death, Kevin dispensed relationship advice largely to black men and women through various media platforms. Alternately being described as helping to repair relationships in the black community, or being described as demeaning, disparaging, and despicable towards black women, which is exactly how I saw him. He was a polarizing figure in life and continues to be so in death. Having amassed a YouTube following of nearly 1.5 million subscribers, there are many who praise him as holding black men and women accountable for their actions, while others, including myself, protest his often vulgar and vitriolic treatment of women, especially black women who foolishly were his core bread and butter. He helped popularize the phrase high-value man. He generally seemed to equate a man's value with his earning potential, regardless of his character or his looks, while women were deemed to have no value apart from fitting into a very narrow beauty standard and being willing to be some guy's doormat. Needless to say, your girl did not frequent Kevin Samuels' content and had not heard of him at all until he did a video a couple of years ago that even made some white content creators take notice and mount a successful counterattack on behalf of black women. In the video in question, a woman in her mid to late 30s calls in to get advice. She described herself as being successful in a pet grooming business and earning about $200,000 a year. Dismissive of her success, Kevin proceeded to attack her looks, trash her career achievements as an entrepreneur, and tell her that based on her looks, her expectations were too high for the type of man she desired. This was apparently a favorite theme of his. The woman also revealed that she was a single mother. At this news, he took particular glee in informing her no high-value man would want her, as she was not only unattractive, according to him, but used. Tons of videos were posted in response, shaming him for his behavior and views, which only made him double down, as many others posted videos claiming he was only telling her the truth. Sadly, it didn't stop black women from continuing to support him. In fact, following the outcry from that post, his platform blew up. In a media career filled with cringe-worthy moments, such as a post made just 3 days before his death, in which he discusses another recent post saying that single women over 35 were leftover women, Kevin made a name cyberbullying black women and making excuses for black male degeneracy. He heavily promoted the narrative that black women were unwanted and would die alone. Ironically, at the time of his death, He died in bed with a much younger woman whom he had only met earlier the same day. How cliche. This so-called relationship guru, a single, bitter, old man, dies unmarried in the midst of a one-night stand. From the available pictures, the woman involved didn't even fit the physical standard he pushed on his show. So much for walking his talk. Now, I want to make it clear right now that though I was not a supporter or fan of Kevin Samuels, I did not consume more than an hour or two of his content. However, I'm not celebrating his death. By the same token, I will not berate those who do. He was a public figure and, as I have said, polarizing. He made his thoughts and lifestyle public, therefore the public has a right to respond to it any way they want. I have watched a gambit of videos discussing his death from those who condemn people celebrating it, especially if those people are black women, to those who refuse to sugarcoat his despicable behavior, to those who feel he deserves respect because he died. Now, to this I say nonsense. A person deserves respect because they are respectable. They don't suddenly merit it because they are no longer here. In other videos, he is lauded as a good businessman and an example of being high value. He certainly amassed a large following, but if his efforts don't wind up financially supporting his daughter, mother, or any other primary family member, he might be called a successful influencer, but certainly not a good businessman. As far as being high value, Kevin Samuels' public life testifies that he was not. As I said, I don't celebrate his death. In fact, I feel about it like God does, that it was a waste. It was a waste of skills, abilities, looks. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of opportunity. Most of all, it was a waste in not prioritizing the right things in life. I want to take a quick sidebar here. Do you guys happen to know what the name Kevin means? Kevin means handsome at birth. It means loving, kind, and handsome at birth. The name Samuel means God hears or God is near. Now, Samuel was one of the greatest prophets of ancient Israel. He was used to correct the people and bring them back into right alignment with God. He had served God from a very young age, like 4 or 5 years old. And it was through his efforts and his discipline and obedience to God that Israel got some of its greatest blessings. So Kevin Samuels was 6 foot tall, 6'4", he was 6'4", lean, well-dressed, articulate. Certainly a major difference from all of the other prominent black, or most of the other prominent black celebrities that are out there who have very disturbing and very dark ways of looking, even depraved ways of looking. So for this guy to be in a suit, clean cut, articulate, well presented, he was a throwback to the way black men had been in the 1960s, 70s, 40s, 50s, 20s. They had always been cold, clean, and well presented. He could have been used by God to really do some wonderful things to help lift the black community and get us back on point. Instead, as I've said, he was not prioritizing the right things in life. Now, to some of you younger people watching this video, 56 or 57, which is actually my age, may seem like a long way off. I know it certainly did when I was 30 and even 40 years old. When I was 20, forget about it. I didn't even think about it. However, if you keep on living, you will find that time has a way of sneaking up on you. Once you get to my age, you find out that it is a lot younger than you thought it was. And it's certainly not as old as you hope you'll be. I am certain Kevin Samuels didn't think he would be departing anytime soon, which brings me to the crux of this video. Aside from his hateful, hypocritical, and misogynist content, Kevin represented a human life. As such, the top priority for human lives should be preparation for what lies beyond this reality. The lesson is tomorrow is not promised to you. And as Kevin found out, neither is the rest of today. Just as you had no control or say in coming to earth in the first place, you have no control or say about when or how you leave. The only thing you can control is what to do with the time in between. The Bible tells us to prepare. It also tells us that God sent his Son not only to die for us so that our offenses against God would be paid for and erased, but so that we could receive the power to live a life God would find pleasing, so that ultimately we would get to spend eternity with God. But listen, he's not going to make us choose to do this. If we decide to get caught up in the trappings of this life, making money, making a career, even getting married and having a family, not to mention those who want fame or huge fortunes, then this is our best life, and we will spend eternity apart from God. Let me be clear. There's nothing wrong with making money or getting married or having a family or even being rich and famous. The problem is prioritizing them over obedience and service to God. The problem is in wasting the time he gives you by not preparing for eternity and being a vehicle of hatred, ungodliness, and elevating the wrong values. Many are now posting videos and comments saying, "Rest in peace." Most assuredly, I tell you, you can only rest in peace if you have lived in peace. Learn the lesson here, folks. Don't waste your life. You know not the day nor the hour. You only know that you have an appointment to keep. Spend the time wisely and prepare so that you get to be on the right side of eternity. It's your Negro with Aptitude and host of the Blackboard, Mickey Lee. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, a big shout out to our new subscribers. Let's really share these videos, like these videos, so that this information gets out to more of us and we can have this community grow. And most of all, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Kevin Samuels? Do you think he wasted his life like I'm certain that he did? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time on the next video.